But did you feel, like the character in the Matrix when you got the red pill? Did you feel like you got the red pill when Tucker showed that video evidence that everybody, including, on both Republican and Democratic side, kept saying, can't show this. You can't show this. But did you feel like this was a moment of revelation?
Certainly. I was very angry. I mean, I just want to say that, we haven't seen all the footage. The footage belongs to the American people, all 40,000 plus hours of it. There's no excuse for not releasing it to all journalists and to anyone who wants to see it. As the National Archives link in my article reminded people, this is all public, all government records belong to us. So we've got to push back against this kind of mystification that both the left and the right are guilty of arrogating the right to withhold documents. And it may be that we'll see more, that will complicate my sense of those events to date. I mean, it was a really complicated day, thousands of actors, thousands of agendas. So I don't think we can conclude, I was wrong and now I know everything. However, the footage that Mr. Carlson released definitely confirmed without a doubt that the Democrats in leadership cherry-picked the data that they presented and cherry-picked the video that they presented. I mean, what was really striking to me was, for instance, the quote-unquote QAnon shaman, being escorted peacefully to the center of the action. And I'm a former political consultant. His appearance was gold for the Democrats, and it so much sent the message they wanted to send about how barbaric, your side of the aisle was, and how much chaos they wanted to inflict on our democratic institutions, that the political consultant in me wasn't surprised to see that, in fact, he'd been escorted right to where the cameras could memorialize him forever, looking, in that outlandish way. And another thing that struck me was that the soundtrack, honestly. I mean, so much of what was really scary about earlier clips was this like deafening roar of the crowd, like baying for blood. And the footage that Tucker Carlson showed was pretty quiet. And in fact, when I looked at footage that had been released earlier showing this screaming and yelling inside the Capitol, it didn't match the mouths of the people in the images. So if indeed that footage had been doctored, and I believe that there was some suggestion that there was a difference in the soundtrack between the earlier released footage and the footage that was released to Mr. Carlson, that's very serious. I mean, that's like tampering with evidence of a crime. That's a very, very serious thing to do about the records of our nation's history, but also legally, it's a very, very serious thing to do. It's prejudicial, and journalistically, it's a criminal act, right? It's like lying about yellow cake or in Niger, or lying about weapons of mass destruction. Every single news site that reported on the edited or amped up soundtrack version needs to issue a correction, and an apology. And I guess the last thing was that I went back, I kept being kind of bothered by this message from the Democratic leadership that really insistently made the case that the Capitol was a sealed space that only belonged to legislators. And so entering the Capitol was this horrific, shocking insurrectionist act. And I was bothered by that because I kind of remembered from history that there was something wrong with that story. So I went back and looked at history, as we should do. And sure enough, what I remembered, the Bonus Army had sat on the steps of the Capitol for, weeks and weeks, I believe, lobbying legislators, walking in and out. This was in 1932. They were World War I veterans waiting for their bonus. So it's completely normal for citizens to be, on the steps of their Capitol. And it's entirely normal for citizens to enter the Capitol. The Capitol is a public building. So I really don't understand how you trespass in a public building. It's not a sealed space. And in fact, it was built in 1857 with a gallery designed to accommodate the public and, women and African Americans and people who weren't even enfranchised would go to the gallery, and the gallery was there to observe the legislators. So after 1876, paradoxically, when there was a contested election, the open, come watch the gallery, that changed, and now you need a pass. But foreign visitors can just walk right in and get a pass to this day. To this day, you can walk in and set things in motion to get your pass. Point being, groups of citizens wandering the halls of the Capitol happens every single day of the week. And, entering the Capitol happens every single day of the week if you're a citizen. So it's a public building. So I guess all of those things really mattered to me because and this is why I wrote a letter of apology in which these points were kind of illustrative, but the aggregate of the lies and cherry picking that the Democratic leadership told and engaged in created an environment in which half of the electorate has been tarred as insurrectionists or dangerous berserkers intent on destroying democracy. And these lies, and I named some more lies I believed in, earlier lies created a situation in which half the country's preferred candidate could not get a fair run for the presidency.
Yeah.
And I guess lastly, I felt the need to apologize because I thoroughly believed that President Trump had in some way supported, winked at, mayhem at the Capitol. I didn't know that his call to be peaceful was immediately deleted from the news about the event that I was reading, and has been deleted from the record. And that's very, very serious. That's like Soviet era whitewashing of, Politburo members who are out of favor.
Hi, it's David Krayden here for Krayden's Right. I hope you're enjoying this channel as much as I enjoy putting the material on here. This is not just about politics. I sing some of my favorite songs from the Great American Songbook. And you can also watch my latest show, which is Ottawa Exposed, where we do some of the news you're not going to hear anywhere else. But please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. If you want to be part of this station, please be a subscriber. We want you.